Hi, my name's Nia Malika Henderson. We'll go back to the floor after this segment, 5 questions with, and Frank Donatelli is here with us here. He is the chairman of GOPAC, which is an organization designed to really gin up the next generation of Republican leaders. What's your sense? Tonight, it looks like there's going to be a storm, obviously, brewing on the Gulf Coast. What are the politics of this storm? Is there a certain challenge that Republicans have tonight in dealing with the reality of the storm, but also trying to get the message out?
Well, I think obviously you have to acknowledge it. This is the second convention in a row that our first night was canceled because of the hurricanes, here in Tampa, as a matter of fact. So I think you have to acknowledge it. You have to express sympathy, obviously, and wish the very, very best to all the people of the Gulf that might be impacted. At the same time, we have a serious task here of nominating, we think, the next president of the United States. And so I think to that extent, the American people deserve to hear what Governor Romney and Congressman Ryan have to say.
And what do you hope that Americans learn about the Republican Party, learn about Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan, that they don't know already? What's the challenge in terms of changing people's minds about the party and about the leaders of the party?
That we stand for principles and policies that have worked in the past. They worked for Ronald Reagan to get the economy going in the 1980s. They worked in the beginning part of the Bush administration before the economic collapse. And if implemented again, they will make life better for the average American for the next 4 years, and that we can certainly do better than what we've done the last 4 years.
Is it your sense, because this convention's obviously been shortened from 4 days to 3, do you feel like conventions still matter? Are people still tuning into these speeches? I think Mitt Romney's speech is going to be something like 40 minutes. Ann Romney's going to speak for about the same. Will people pay attention?
Well, I hope so. Conventions have long ceased to be decision-making bodies. And as you point out, they used to be 4-night miniseries, and they're now up, I guess, down to 3. That being said, I hope the American people, and I think they will still pay attention, because there are speeches from the leading Republicans in our party, Ann Romney, Governor Chris Christie, Senator Marco Rubio, not to mention the president and vice presidential nomination. So I would say to the public, if you want a little more than what you can get in a 30-second soundbite, if you want to hear a little more discussion of the issues that matter to you, tune in these next few nights.
Do you have a prediction as to what sort of bounce Mitt Romney might see out of this? It's pretty neck and neck in the polls, right. Almost 46, 47, something like that. What kind of bounce do you predict?
I think there will be a bounce. I would caution everyone that we are a much more polarized country now. And there's a lot more information out there early on in the primary campaign leading up to the convention. So I don't think there's the volatility in the electorate, say, that there was 20 years ago. So I wouldn't expect the change to be that great either after our convention or after the Democratic convention. But I think that since the beginning of August, the trend has clearly been upward toward the Republicans. I think as people become more and more comfortable with our party and have more and more confidence in the solutions that we're going to be offering to get our economy moving again.
Now, last question. I know, again, you're chairman of GOPAC, in charge of sort of grooming and recognizing young talent. Is there some young up-and-coming Republican that we haven't heard of that you've got your eye on that we need to be paying attention to?
Oh, my goodness, we have so many of them. If we had had this conversation 4 years ago, I would have told you that there's a young fellow out of the great state of Florida named Marco Rubio.
Oh, that's cheating. You gotta. Who's the newest? You can't go back in history.
I just said that because I think that we really do have a lot of bright young people coming up in the party. Boy, if I had to give you names, T.W. Shannon, who's going to be the Speaker of the Oklahoma House of Representatives, first African-American speaker ever. Mary Linda Garcia, who's a bright young Hispanic woman from New Hampshire. I guess what I would say, Nia, is that the up-and-coming Republican leaders are a very diverse group. We have African Americans, we have Hispanic, we have a lot of women, we have Asian Americans, and our party is going to be a much broader party, a much more diverse party as we move forward.
And that's certainly something that's going to be on display tonight.
Yes.
With minorities speaking. I think Susana Martinez, Condi
Well, we
Rice,
have two Hispanic governors now, and we
Right.
have two Cuban Americans who will be U.S. senators. We have a lot of women, and we have an African American woman that's running in Utah. We already have two African American congressmen, so it's happening.
Great.
It's happening.
Thank you so much for joining us,
Okay,
and have a
thank
great
you.
time at this convention.
Thank you very much.